Welcome again from Cape Town at the Women in Tech Global Summit. The Women in Tech Summit is also hosting the Tech Diplomacy Global Institute Summit as well. And today I would love us to meet Dr. Tawfik Jelassi, who is the chair of the Supervisory Board of the Tech Diplomacy Institute. Now, I heard him speak earlier, just giving us a great experience and summary of why tech diplomacy has become so important and why this institute was actually started by Ayumi and himself. And I'd love him to tell us a bit about that as well. So thank you, Dr. Tawfik.
Thank you. My pleasure. We set up this institute about a year ago because we strongly believe that tech diplomacy today should be at the center of international relations, negotiations, diplomacy, because the world is becoming more and more digital and many issues are subject to global cooperation. Except maybe a couple of countries, the USA and China, and the other countries do not own all what is required to succeed in digital. Either they don't own the chips, or maybe not the rare minerals that make the chips, or they don't own the submarine cables, or the computing hardware, or the software, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence capabilities. So today you need to cooperate with other countries on digital if you want to succeed through it. And that's the concept of tech diplomacy. Diplomats should also be able to talk with confidence and use the right vocabulary when they engage with other countries on how to collaborate on technology matters. Otherwise, if you are not at the table to also for negotiations, then you may be on the menu. Because today there are international laws and treaties and the new regulations that cover the world. Why? Because technology is global, it's borderless, and therefore you cannot only use national regulation to govern digital. And therefore you need to be part of global treaties and agreements regarding digital. This is why we believe a new profile with the new capabilities, the tech ambassador, who of course speaks the language of diplomacy, but needs to be able to effectively speak the language of technology.
Okay. And what are some of you just touched on some of the key aspects around, owning, not all countries own the tech or the infrastructure and so on. So what are some of the other topics that a tech diplomat will be talking and negotiating about in these forums?
Let me mention a couple of issues. Cybersecurity is an important issue. Because sometimes cyber attacks are not necessarily all coming from within your country. Quite often cyber attacks come from other countries across the border. And of course, if you want to make your country safe from cyber attacks, you need to engage in a global cooperation about it. Second, the same applies obviously to cyber terrorism as well. But there is another matter. Today we know that mis and disinformation is having a very negative impact on society. There are some parties that are producing and disseminating wrong information. Sometimes during election times to influence undecided voters. Sometimes to make citizens mistrust national institutions. How to combat disinformation? How to combat hate speech? How to combat other harmful online content? Well, to combat disinformation is a global effort. No one single country can effectively combat and succeed in their fight against disinformation. Because disinformation is happening on global digital platforms. The Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok, and the like. And therefore, you need to engage these tech companies and you need to cooperate with other countries to say what type of global digital governance there should be, including to combat the harmful or to mitigate the risks of digital and of course avoid the harmful side of technology.
Absolutely. That's a huge use case. Another one that comes to mind is also data movement, across borders, and where is the citizen data stored?
Absolutely right. Today, we say data is the new oil. If you want to use effectively artificial intelligence applications, you need data sets to train your algorithms and the large language models. Yeah. Where is the data coming from? If you are using global north data for global south countries or Africa, that may not be that relevant because the data is not about the languages of the country, does not take into account the cultural specificities, the societal uniqueness of a given country. So again, but maybe if you cooperate with other neighboring countries, maybe you can have data that is relevant because you belong to the same continent, because you are neighbors. Sometimes you have similar geography, similar type of ethnic or cultural, societal issues. So that's again a matter of tech diplomacy. So yes, you're right. Data has many facets to it, and today the data governance is a key tech diplomacy topic.
Okay. And who can be a tech diplomat? I know we spoke about it previously in one of the sessions this morning. Maybe you can tell us a bit about, the background of a tech diplomat for those who are thinking, okay, this could be something I would like to get into.
A tech diplomat is somebody who speaks two languages, the language of diplomacy and the language of technology. Again, when I say that, I'm not referring to technical experts. A tech diplomat does not need to be a technical expert, but needs to understand the issues about technologies. He needs to master the vocabulary when he or she goes to international negotiations or meetings, etc. So it's a person with two hats: the foreign affairs, the international relations, the political science, the diplomacy on one hand, and then the digital technology understanding and the issues around tech. And this is the right profile, and for this reason the Tech Diplomacy Global Institute is offering, starting end of June 2026, a new global executive program on tech diplomacy to be able to create this dual language capability and the needed competency to become a tech ambassador.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much. I have learned so much, being part of this conference and learning about the Tech Diplomacy Institute and how important it is for us to think about how diplomacy now no longer is just about the, economic diplomacy or political, but tech is a really big function. So thank you so much, Dr. Tawfik.
My pleasure. Thank you.